I'm Oskar Nygren, and this is Imperfect Action. In today's video, we're going to talk about the shining object syndrome, how to stay focused and not get distracted. And if you're new to this channel, please click the subscribe button, the like and the notification bell, because I intend to make a video each day for those who want to raise their vibration and share their gifts with the world. So let's get into today's topic. When I started learning about the law of attraction, I watched this movie, The Secret, and all of these things. I got really enticed by this notion that our thoughts creates our reality, and I'm like, oh, I want to do this. And I started looking at everything around me as if, that was my next move. That was my big breakthrough. That was my savior. And I didn't know anything else. So basically that meant that I got distracted in so many ways. And I looked at synchronicities, I looked at angel numbers, all of these things that I tried to come out with the understanding that I'm on my path, I'm doing what's right. And because of that, I also were very naive as to what was happening around me. So let's say that someone called me on a sales call, and I was really open to it because I'm like, oh my God, this is my big breakthrough. The world is getting here. It's here. It's reveling for me. It's like now is the time. And that resulted in me jumping onto many experiences that oftentimes ended up with me spending a lot of money and losing a lot of money too. With the result that I got really discouraged and really sad, and not that I stopped believing in this whole notion of the law of attraction and everything that it carries, but somehow I just started to feel empty inside. It's like, oh, what am I doing wrong? All these opportunities that I'm jumping at. Why isn't something happening for me? And that continued. I'm sure you can, empathize with buying maybe the next program or taking this coach or this course is the new savior, right? And I think that is something that happens for a lot of us human beings, right? We also get distracted in relationships, or we think that our partner is the savior or whatever they represent. And so we stay stuck in that way, and we just jump from places to places, and this is also a collective shadow inside of humanity where we'll never really stay satisfied. And on a small degree, this also happens like on social media, right? Because if you think about social media, it's like you're pointing fingers at where you're going, right? You're pointing fingers at like, oh, now I'm going to do this, and now I'm going to do that, right? You're like, this video is there, this video is there, and you get distracted. Your attention flows in that direction. And for a while, perhaps those distractions are, entertaining. They're giving a little bit of enjoyment. But in the long run, they start to distract you from your path. And something that I really struggled with in my life was routine, with discipline, with focus. Because I related discipline and focus to not being free. But isn't it funny that me being free, me being going that thing, going in that direction, doing that, choosing these things, right? I'm choosing all these things outside of me. And I'm relating that as freedom, but that freedom just made me discouraged, right? So there was something missing here, and it comes from when you start looking at what is distraction, right? Distraction is sort of an irregularity, right? You're jumping at the spontaneity of life, while routine is more of a commitment, is more of a slow and steady route, right? And so these two things, they are polarities, right? Routine, irregularity, or routine and distraction. And that's when you start understanding, but because it's a polarity, that means that there's a choice, right? Because life is not supposed to be only routine, but routine is really necessary to feel in alignment with your path, right? Because as you take action, you're getting into a routine, your path starts unfolding. The next step comes towards you. The next opportunity comes towards you. While the irregularities or the distractions, they are there as enjoyments, right? When you're walking on the path and you see a flower, you don't stop and stay with that flower forever. You enjoy it for a time and then you move on. But most of us have a tendency to distract ourselves and saying that that flower, whether it's a person, a system, a car, a social media post, that flower is my savior. It's my next thing. It's my shiny new object, right? It's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So life is essentially about being able to walk your path and enjoy things simultaneously, right? It's these two choices. When you have the degree of capability inside of yourself of choosing routine whilst enjoying the distractions from time to time, that's when you start achieving freedom. Freedom is choice. Freedom is the ability to control your own way that you relate to life. Right? So the way to stay focused, first of all, you have to make up with your own idea of what routine represents. Because most of the time, we might have a little bit of an towards commitment because we've been so stuck in jobs, right? The 9 to 5, which is purely about routine. So we detest it. So when we go into our own business, we enjoy the freedom because we have the freedom of like, oh, now I can do what I want, right? And we don't really take in the routine that we grasp, that we gained from the job, because the job was something that we wanted out of, right? So we have difficulty being focused, being disciplined, having a routine, because we simply didn't like that when we were employed. So we have to feel within inside of us, look at the parts of our life where we felt an angst against routine. and didn't like it. You know, we look at people in our life that maybe are like just straightforward. They don't enjoy life. And we acknowledge that they are simply just a mirror for ourselves, and what we dislike about them is what we dislike in ourselves too. And we start owning that. That's when we start owning routine in our life. And when we own routine, then we start balancing the polarity, right? Because it's easy to be distracted, but once we grasp routine, then we own the both sides of the polarity. And that's when we feel capable. We feel powerful because we have choice, control, and thus we also have freedom and joy in our life. Energy flows where attention goes. So the moment that you become distracted of a flower and you just dive into it, right? You are distracting yourself and you're moving energy into that place. So your path becomes diverted. So it's very important to be able to choose. Very important to be able to choose. You know, I can choose to be distracted by this sunlight that is right now completely in my face. I'm going to end the video right now. Or I finish it. Energy flows where attention goes. You know, it's energy and consciousness. Wherever you put your attention, it will grow. So make sure that you're aware of where your mission is, where you're heading in life. You have that North Star, right? And as you're moving on that path, embrace what is coming there and be sure of whom is walking with you on that path, right? Because some people might walk a diverted path. And if you're codependent, you might flow in that direction, but something will happen because your inner being, your truth, your spirit, knows where you're going. So it will keep you on path, right? That's why it's very important when we choose costumers as well. Like we choose a costumer that is on the same journey. So they're not diverting our path, right? That's the good fit. Our end goal is their end goal, or at least a part of it. So commitment, routine, focus, and discipline. The reason why we might have a hard time doing it is because we've reasoned that we didn't like it when someone else were trying to do it for us, like our employee or our employer. And once we merge with that, we own those feelings, we own our resentments against what that represented. Maybe even our parents that had a controlling faction, we own that. We start balancing the scale and it becomes so much easier to not get distracted. Because then we know that that distraction is just a shiny object, we enjoy it, and then we move on. Yeah. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it immensely. If you got anything out of this video, please comment below. and say what are your ideas around routine, irregularity, and these two polarities of staying focused, disciplined, and being committed. Okay, take care, guys. Peace, love, and joy to all of you. Bye for now.